Danny Wiley, Charlie Ramirez,
Here.
Jonathan Laraga,
Present.
Romeo Robles,
Present.
Rafael Munguia,
Present.
Luis Madrigal, Porfirio Rodriguez,
Present.
Angie Castro.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Need a motion to excuse absent members, please.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to go ahead and excuse the absent members.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Yes. Make a motion to excuse.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Next, approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Munguia.
I second it.
Second. Mr. Robles. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item, public hearing.
Good evening, gentlemen. Della Robles, Planner 1 for the City of Pharr. Tonight, we have 3 items for your recommendation. The first item, Crafton Communications, representing T-Mobile, has filed with the Planning and Zoning Commission a request for a life-of-the-use conditional use permit to allow the co-location of telecommunication equipment on an existing tower in an agriculture and/or open space district AO. The property is legally described as being 0.11 acre tract of land, more or less, out of Lot 1, Iglesia Apostólica de la Fe en Cristo Jesús subdivision, Pharr, Hidalgo County, Texas. The property is physically located at 8801 South Cage Boulevard. The property is currently zoned Agriculture and/or Open Space District AO. The surrounding area is zoned General Business District C to the north and west, Heavy Commercial District HC to the south, and Limited Industrial District LI to the west. This area is generally designated for commercial use in the land use plan. The Planning Department recommends approval. 6 surrounding property owners were notified of the request by letter, and a legal notice was published in the McAllen Monitor. Staff received no response to the letters or to the legal notice. Development Services is recommending approval of the request for a life-of-the-use conditional use permit to allow the co-location of telecommunication equipment on an existing tower in an agriculture and/or open space district AO, subject to the following conditions set before you. And gentlemen, this item will go before the City Commission meeting of February the 18th, 2019 at 4 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Chairman.
Has anybody signed up for public comments?
No one in
No?
the affected area.
Okay, thank you. Want to open it up for discussion? The committee? Anybody have a question?
I just had a question. They're gonna add,
Yes, Ms. Rowland.
just some equipment.
Yes, sir. They're
To
gonna add a
antenna?
ground box at the bottom, and then they're gonna switch out some antennas.
I don't know.
Okay, no further questions?
Sure.
Okay, yes.
Address, yes, just for my information, do all these towers, that go up, I know you go through them, the department goes through them. I just want to find out, is there a liability provision, in case, we've been having these winds,
All of these
Equipment falls.
towers are engineered, Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
and they must provide windstorm to the building permits department, so they have all
So
of
they
their.
do have liability in case of, if somebody gets injured, they're
They're,
around
they're
these
within,
churches
they're
where-
within, the correct distance from any residential or building.
And plus, they have, they're buffered, they're fenced in.
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
they are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, any more discussion?
I move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, move to
Second.
action. Okay, Mr. Robles? Laraga, second. All-
All those in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item number 2, Ilium Event Center has filed with the Planning and Zoning Commission a request for a conditional use permit to allow the sale of alcoholic beverages for on-premise consumption in a business district C2. The property is legally described as being lots 26 and 27, Block 2, J.T. Doster Subdivision, Pharr, Hidalgo County, Texas. The property's physical address is 125 East Newcomb Avenue, Park Avenue. The property is currently zoned Business District C2. The surrounding area is zoned Business District C2 to the north, south, east, and west. This area is generally designated for commercial use in the land use plan. The police chief, the fire department, code compliance, health division, and planning division all recommend approval. 31 surrounding property owners were notified of the request by letter, and a legal notice was published in the McAllen Monitor. Staff received no response to the letters or to the legal notice. Development Services recommending approval of the conditional use permit to allow the sale of alcoholic beverages for on-premise consumption in a business district C2, subject to the applicant and site being in compliance with all city ordinances and city department requirements. This item will go before the City Commission meeting of February the 18th, 2019 at 4 p.m. And gentlemen, we do have representation in the audience.
Okay, thank you. Anybody sign up?
No one in the affected area, sir.
Okay, thank you. Open for discussion among the board. Action?
I move to approve.
Okay, Mr. Robles?
Second that.
Mr. Munguia, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item number 3, Vincent Gerard and Associates, Inc., representing Verizon Wireless, has filed with the Planning and Zoning Commission a request for a life of the use conditional use permit to allow a new telecommunication tower in a single-family residential district R1. The property is legally described as being 0.04 acre tract of land, more or less, out of Lot 1, Grace Community Church Subdivision, Pharr, Hidalgo County, Texas. The property is physically located at 133 North Sugar Road. The property is currently zoned Single-Family Residential District R1. The surrounding area is zoned Single-Family Residential District R1 to the north, General Business District C to the south, and General Business District C and Single Family Residential District R1 to the east and west. This area is generally designated for manufactured homes in the land use plan. Planning Department recommends approval. 16 surrounding property owners were notified of the request by letter, and a legal notice was published in the McAllen Monitor. Staff received 1 telephone call for information only. Development Services is recommending approval of the request for a life of the use conditional use permit to allow a new telecommunication tower in a single-family residential district R1, subject to the following conditions set before you. This item will go before the City Commission meeting of February the 18th, 2019 at 4 p.m. And gentlemen, we do have representation in the audience.
Thank you. Anybody sign up?
Not in the affected area, sir.
Okay. Sir, you want to step forward?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gentlemen, my name is Vince Hebinger with Vincent Gerard, representing Grace. Grace Community and Verizon. Just a couple of real brief things that I want to show you. Closest site that we have is almost a half a mile away across 83. This site basically is more of a capacity than a coverage site. You can see some of the RF information on there. Where their sites are, the red is good. Red is 4G LTE coverage. Blue and yellow is not quite clearly in-building coverage. You know, most people are turning their phones off, like most people in here, using wireless for 100% of their communication needs, so it's very important to get in all those rooftops. although it's a small area, it's a blue area, the key here is the capacity. There are capacity sites with these small smartphones. If you guys remember, years ago when the iPhone was introduced, AT&T bought special privileges to announce that, use that iPhone for the first year. It crashed their system. Everybody's complaining about it. It's the smartphones and the apps that are really taking a beating on the infrastructure. It was designed as a mobile network, and now it's both. Another slide I want to show you is the high corridor area that you've got here. You've got 83, 281, North Cage, and Business 83, which is a tremendous amount of valley traffic. I mean, huge. We all know, you know, rush hour, we get on that road 83 and 281, and it's bumper to bumper. So that is using those facilities. Now, we need to download, back to the capacity, we need to download some of that traffic to these sites so they can operate at efficient levels. 911 calls go through. Your data volume, you know, when you're downloading a document on there, it's taking forever and ever. That's what's going on. You're having that capacity. And this is the problem. You know, we're running so many applications at the same time. So I just want to give you a little wireless background on why we're here and why we're asking for a site in that specific location. But the most important stuff here is listed on this slide. Basically, we comply with the code. We're 2 times the height away from residential. This area is full of residential, so we looked at a community church that is more of a religious assembly use, and it can benefit the people within the church with this modest amount of income that they would get. So it complies with everything on the code, except it is a residential use, so we're having to ask for an SUP. I gave Della a copy of the church's nice little petition. You guys can look at that as well. Here's the location back behind what they poured the slab for their sanctuary. They're still trying to work on building that. You can see the setbacks and everything. Have any questions on the structural capacity of these things and how we design those and what's going on with the systems, just let me know. Thank you.
Anybody else?
No, sir.
Thank you. I close the public, now discussion on board. No discussion, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mr.
All right.
Chairman, to go ahead and
Mr.
approve.
Guerra. Anybody else? Second, Mr. Robles. Put it before the board. Everybody in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, sir. Announcements.
Any announcements?
No announcements.
Okay. I do want to take a moment, everyone, we did lose somebody. Dr. C. Fletcher, who was almost a permanent fixture here. He was an advocate for the public. In my words, he was a crusader, okay? And he did needle quite a few people in here, but it was always for the common good. So I want to take maybe a moment to remember Dr. Fletcher. Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
All right. Any other
I move
business?
to adjourn.
Motion,
Second.
okay. Mr. Robles,
All in
And-
favor?
Aye.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Anybody? No. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks, guys.